Hello everyone, and welcome back to Toro Models. Today it's a bit of a special one. It's an unboxing day, but it's an unboxing for a new range of diorama accessories which have just appeared on the store. I have a limited range from RT Diorama, which many of you know, that's a very highly respected brand out of Germany. RT Diorama have been expanding their range over the last few years, and I wanted to get at least a limited range to begin with onto the store. I'm hoping to expand that over the next few months if it's possible. So I'll tilt the camera to the bench as usual, and we'll have a look at the range of new diorama accessories from RT Diorama. See you in a sec. Okay, right here at the bench. So the latest unboxing from RT Models is this guy. Bit of a hefty one. This. Let me just back that up a little bit so you can see the actual label on the box. Very simple box. There's nothing on the other side. So just the label gives you the information. So this one is Abbey Street Diorama Base. And this is another one of their detailed plaster diorama bases. As I said in the I think on previous videos, it is unpainted and assembled. Highly detailed, includes quality plaster, laser cut and 3D printed parts, pre-weathered printed glass panels included, which is unusual. And the overall size of this guy is 215 by 230 millimeters. So it's a hefty diorama, but not too massive. I felt at 1/35 scale. It's about where I would sort of want to pitch this for my dioramas, because I have limited space for displaying these. So these kinds of, I guess, starter kits or instant diorama kits, they are very attractive, particularly at this kind of size. So let's get all the bits out of the box, and we'll have a look at each component in turn. So a bit more there. Lots of bubble wrap, which is good. Another layer of plaster parts. More bubble wrap. Some delicate parts there. Let's not break those. A baggie of some 3D printed. I'm assuming those are the windows. Even more shrink wrap. Yet another part here, and then we get into the laser cut element. So hefty amounts of packaging in this box, which is good. So I'll leave that there as usual. Okay, what we'll do is we'll basically go through all of the parts in turn. So on the top, then let's look at what's in this baggie. These look like the instructions and the laser cut elements. So let's get those guys out of the box. Put them there. Okay, so what we have is some very nice laser printed. Looks like MDF. I think it is. I think it's MDF. I'm not actually sure 100%, but it looks like MDF to me. That's the window details. Very nice indeed. Super crisp on all of these lines. I was looking at how sort of square these these laser cut elements are, and also the curves, and they are spot on. They're really good. So that's that element. And of course these are stained glass, because obviously this is a derelict church. Now they've they've inkjet printed onto a piece of acetate some very nice stained glass window designs. Let me just show you those. Can I find a bit of white paper to put behind them? Let me just do that. That might be a bit easier to see. There we go. So this is a piece of acetate which will fit behind the actual window frames, the MDF, which I just showed you. And of course, then it's up to you guys how you want to do that. So you can just show how it would look in situ. So if it's something like that, and then of course then you can go to town with this guy for the damage to make this obviously the derelict building it is. you know, a lot of fun with that to make that look, you know, instantly like shattered glass. That's very nice. Very nice to see. So that's in that little baggie. So we get basically a copy of the sticker, which is on the box. That's the front. There it is. And on the back, it talks about 3D printed parts once again. How to manipulate them, also to be very careful if you're sensitive to resin. If you're going to cut that or sand it and there's any debris, again, be careful not to inhale that. You know, wear gloves or a mask if you feel it's appropriate for your particular environment. They talked about the plaster parts as well, how they can be sanded, assembled, and of course then painted as you guys see fit. Okay, so let's put those there while we look at the other interesting bits that's on my bench. Right, let's look at these 3D printed parts. Let's get these out of the baggie. If I can do that. Okay, so we've got a couple of very fine statues. Let's not drop it and break it, which you can see on the box art. So it's these details on the walls. Yeah, these guys have been 3D printed, which are here. So let me just see if I can show you that in detail. If I just tip this, you can see the detail here, and on the top here, that's the statues. A bit more detail there for sort of wall detail. And also you get some detail for the door. If you look at the center of this 3D printed part, that's the hinges with the I guess the sort of iron scroll work. That'll be a great few hours getting that to look like I guess weathered or rusted iron against the wood grain of the door. That would look absolutely fantastic on the diorama for with the actual paint job. That would be super. Very much looking forward to having a go at that, because I do have an idea for this diorama, which is ideal when this came on. So that's the 3D printed bits. Now everything else is plaster, as you can see. This is all plaster cast. And the detail is very crispy. Let me just show you that small part, just so you can see what the brick detail is like. Because I really do like painting sort of brick detail. With a few dioramas I've done, some of the brick detail has come out extremely well. Because it needs a few different kinds of technique, you know, washes, details, putting some mosses on there, even a bit of dry brushing. I found works really well. So all of the brick detail is very nice indeed. Let me just show you a couple of the interior parts. So this one is just that's that part there, which is part of the interior as it goes around that corner. So that's that part, which is very nice indeed. As you can see, massive amounts of detail. And another part here is the door itself, which I believe that correct at the door. Yes, it is. That's the door itself. Again, very crisp on the detail, particularly on the brick. This looks superb when it's when it's painted. Let me put that down there. You get a couple of extras. These little sort of I guess little finials which fit around your corners, etc. These kind of things. In fact, I believe that's part of the arch, which again, it's all plaster cast. And of course the base itself. Let's have a look at that guy. They give you an idea of the physical size of the actual diorama itself. What did I say it was? 215 by 230. So it's almost square, but that's the kind of detail that you get. The wall detail is picked out is very well indeed. So you know exactly where all of these components have to go. I can see some ammo boxes, an oil drum, that kind of detail. But really, once this was assembled, you could go to town with this, with any kind of detail that you like. Vegetation would be fantastic as well, with this kind of detail. And again, the cobbled street there at the front, this kind of detail, yeah, massively versatile for different kinds of paint finishes. You could really go a bit crazy with this kind of thing, but it gives you the instant parts. It gives you the structure of your diorama instantly out of the box, which is great if you want to try and get into this stuff. I guess initially, or if you're thinking, is there a way I can accelerate how I build dioramas, for instance? Is that possible? Because there's plenty of space here, particularly on this kind of setup for additional materials. I guess what I'm really talking about is armour, particularly on the front area of the diorama, and some figures as well. This could be very, very impressive as a sort of World War II diorama. Let me just get the components back a second. Just want to have a look at the door detail. Yeah, that's pretty good. The door detail's not too bad. I'd probably want to make that more, put some texture on that. I think that'll be a good idea with maybe a wire brush. That's what I tend to do. I drag wire brushes across these things to give it a wood texture, and then use different paint effects to get the kind of wood effect I want. And then against that, with the 3D printed hinges and iron detail, that would look very, very impressive, indeed. So looking at it across my bench, as you can see, lots and lots of different components. But when they go together, I like the idea that there's print some acetate for the stained glass. I think if you cut those carefully, you can absolutely make that look like shattered glass in the frames as well. The list goes on really. Kind of your mind sort of races about how you could actually use this. What could you put in front of that? What kind of story could you tell with these kinds of instant dioramas? But the Abbey Street one I think has been quite popular. It's in 135th, of course, which again makes it massively versatile right across the kind of model making that most of us do. So that is Abbey Street from RT Diorama, a very impressive piece of diorama components. I say so. It's all plaster cast. You get some acetate and some laser cut MDF, I believe it is, just to finish off those details. But you could go, as I say, to town with this guy, packing in the detail as much as you guys want. But it's very, very impressive. The kind of detail which is available on here. It's very, very good indeed. This kind of different detail. That's the plinth for the 3D printed statues, which I showed you earlier. So again, that fine detail is absolutely there from the get-go. It's really up to you guys then how you apply your imagination to remake this thing come to life. So that's the Abbey Street from RT Diorama. As always, guys, if you could, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon to make sure you don't miss future videos. Also, very good idea to whiz over to the store if you haven't already and sign up for the newsletter. That's the best way of making sure you don't miss anything that is new across the store. I'm hoping to expand the initial range of RT diorama accessories that I've got on the store over time, and of course that'll all be announced in the newsletter. So if you haven't, do sign up for that so you don't miss out, because I'll probably have limited numbers of most of these things. So if something really takes your fancy, make sure you see the newsletter. That tends to appear weekly. I try to make and put a new one together every Tuesday or thereabouts. So if you haven't, do whiz over and sign up for that. Again, if you've got to get in touch about anything, this guy, or even indeed anything else across the store, do get in touch. Email's the best. You can try and call me, but I can't guarantee I'll be able to pick the call up. Do leave me a voicemail. I do pick those up if I can. Best way is always email. I do see every single email that is sent to me, so that is the best way of reaching me. And as always, guys, keep on modelling.